Commander Ryan's shuttle slowly descended through the thin atmosphere of the planet where the Interstellar Academy stood. The Academy was a massive structure, built from shining metal and crystal, floating just above the rocky surface. Its towers gleamed under the pale sun, and transparent sky bridges connected each building, creating a web of paths for students from many worlds. Ryan's heart pounded with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He had dreamed of this day for years, but standing at the landing platform, he felt the weight of all the expectations and judgments waiting for him. As he stepped onto the platform, the hum of the shuttle's engines fading behind him, he noticed a group of cadets gathered nearby. They moved with practiced ease, their uniforms bright and intricate, showing the colors and symbols of their home worlds. Many of them had elegant features, sleek limbs, or extra appendages, reflecting the diversity of life across the galaxy. Ryan adjusted his simple Earth uniform, feeling slightly out of place. His clothes were functional, made for durability rather than style. In comparison, the others looked like they had stepped out of a ceremonial hall rather than a training academy. A soft voice called his name. "Commander Ryan?" A small, silver-skinned alien with 3 eyes and a thin frame approached him. "I'm Instructor Thalen. Welcome to the Academy. We've been expecting you." Ryan bowed slightly. "Thank you, Instructor. It's an honor to be here." Thalen smiled, but his gaze flicked to the group of cadets. "They're curious about you. Earth is not very famous in this part of the galaxy." Ryan forced a smile. He had heard the whispers before, even among humans. Earth was seen as a backwater planet by many interstellar civilizations. Its technology was advanced in some areas, but often considered simple, and its people were underestimated. Still, Ryan had something most others did not: a sharp mind, relentless curiosity, and a spirit that refused to be limited by appearances. As he followed Instructor Thalen through the academy gates, he noticed someone in particular watching him. A tall, confident cadet with shimmering blue scales and bright golden eyes leaned casually against a railing. Her uniform was adorned with symbols of her wealthy home world, and she carried herself with an air of authority and pride. "This is Mira," Thalen said, noticing Ryan's glance. "She's one of the top cadets. I suggest you speak with her carefully. She is direct." Ryan nodded politely. He approached Mira, keeping his voice calm. "Hello, I'm Ryan, from Earth." Mira tilted her head, examining him as if he were a strange insect. "Earth?" she said, her tone dripping with curiosity and barely hidden mockery. "That little blue planet on the edge of the Sol system? You actually came from there? Fascinating." Ryan felt a slight sting in her words, but he kept his composure. "Yes, Earth has much to offer," he said simply, hoping to deflect her judgment. Mira smirked. "I suppose. I've heard stories. Primitive tech, backward training. I hope you don't slow anyone down." Ryan's hands clenched slightly at his sides, but he said nothing. Instead, he watched Mira carefully. There was confidence in her eyes. Yes, but also curiosity. She wanted to see what Earth had sent her way, even if she would never admit it out loud. The rest of the day was a blur of orientation sessions, holographic simulations, and introductions to alien instructors. Ryan noticed that most cadets assumed he would lag behind, that his moves would be clumsy, and that his ideas would be too simple. At first, he felt a pang of doubt, but he quickly reminded himself of Earth's lessons: resourcefulness, adaptability, and thinking outside the box. During a brief break, Ryan wandered to the Academy's training grounds. Here, cadets practiced everything from zero-gravity maneuvers to advanced tactical simulations. He paused near a holographic display showing a complex orbital navigation exercise. The other cadets moved with precise efficiency, but Ryan's mind raced differently. He noticed patterns, small shortcuts, and potential problems the simulation did not immediately show. Mira appeared beside him again, arms crossed. "Planning to impress anyone, Earth Boy?" she asked, her tone a mix of teasing and challenge. Ryan smiled faintly, not intimidated. "I'm learning, that's all." Mira raised an eyebrow. "Learning? From a primitive planet? How ambitious." She turned and walked away, leaving a faint trail of sparkling dust from her scales. Ryan shook his head slightly, amused and determined. The first real test came in the afternoon. The cadets were asked to participate in a holographic navigation challenge, where they would maneuver a small spacecraft through a virtual asteroid field while avoiding collisions and repairing simulated damage. Ryan's turn came last. He stepped into the simulator, feeling the weight of dozens of alien eyes on him. The asteroid field was dense and chaotic. Small failures could cause catastrophic losses in the simulation. Ryan focused, recalling training methods from Earth: improvisation, observation, and keeping calm under pressure. He guided the craft through narrow gaps, using calculated bursts of thrust to avoid spinning asteroids. When one of the virtual systems failed, he quickly devised a low-tech workaround using the simulator's basic repair kit, a trick he had learned from repairing old satellites back on Earth. When the simulation ended, the room fell silent. Then, murmurs spread among the cadets. Ryan had completed the course faster than most of the top cadets, with minimal errors. Even some of the instructors exchanged surprised glances. Mira, watching from the side, felt a strange mixture of irritation and respect. She had expected him to falter, to confirm her prejudice about Earth. Instead, he had outperformed expectations using skill, intelligence, and ingenuity. After the session, Thallon approached Ryan. "Impressive work," he said quietly. "You may have come from a world others underestimate, but you are proving that Earth's people can hold their own, even here." Ryan nodded, grateful for the acknowledgement. Yet he knew the day was far from over. Being respected among the cadets would take more than one demonstration. He would have to show consistency, courage, and leadership. Later, as the sun dipped behind the distant mountains, casting the academy in a golden glow, Ryan walked through the gardens. The air was filled with the scent of alien flowers and the gentle hum of floating energy lights. He thought about Mira and her attitude. Her mocking had stung, yes, but it had also motivated him. He realized that judgment often came from fear or ignorance, and he had a chance to change minds. Not just hers, but others too. A soft chime from his communicator interrupted his thoughts. It was an invitation. "Team assignments for tomorrow's challenge have been posted. Check the board in the main hall." Ryan felt a thrill of anticipation. He knew that the real test of his abilities and of Earth's underestimated ingenuity was about to begin. As he looked at the Academy towers stretching toward the sky, he made a quiet promise to himself. He would show the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. Back in the common quarters, he unpacked his few belongings and reviewed the challenge rules. He noted the skills required: navigation, repair, strategy, and teamwork. Each area was an opportunity to prove that Earth's unique approach could compete with the galaxy's best. Meanwhile, Mira lounged in her quarters, reviewing her own strategies. She had noticed Ryan's performance earlier and could not dismiss it entirely. A tiny seed of doubt had been planted. Could this Earth boy truly match her expectations? For the first time, she wondered if she had misjudged someone based on appearance alone. As night fell over the academy, the lights of the floating towers sparkled like stars. Ryan stood at a window, gazing at the vastness of space. Earth was a small blue dot in the galaxy, yet it had given him everything he needed: courage, ingenuity, and determination. He smiled, ready for the challenges ahead. Tomorrow, the real test would begin, and he would be ready, not just for the academy, but for proving that humans could shine in a galaxy that had once doubted them. The next morning, the Interstellar Academy buzzed with energy. Cadets rushed through the hallways, their voices blending with the hum of hover vehicles and the soft whir of robotic assistants. On the main announcement board, a shimmering hollow screen displayed the words, "Team-based Space Survival Challenge. All cadets must participate." Ryan's heart beat faster as he approached the board. The challenge would test every cadet's ability to navigate through dangerous asteroid fields, repair satellites, and respond to unexpected emergencies. Each team was assigned randomly, mixing cadets from different planets and skill levels. He scanned the list and felt a pang of apprehension. He had been grouped with Mira. Her name gleamed at the top, a symbol of skill, reputation, and pride. Ryan knew she would not make things easy. As he entered the training chamber for the pre-mission briefing, Mira was already there, arms crossed, her golden eyes scanning the room like a hawk. She gave him a brief, dismissive glance. "So, Earth boy, looks like we're stuck together. Try not to embarrass yourself," she said, a sharp edge in her voice. Ryan swallowed his annoyance. "I'll do my best," he replied calmly. He could feel the eyes of other cadets watching, some curious, some skeptical. This was not just a test of skill, it was a test of reputation, of proving oneself. Instructor Thalen appeared at the front of the chamber, his 3 eyes glowing softly. "Welcome, cadets. This challenge will test your teamwork, problem-solving, and ingenuity. Each team will navigate a simulated asteroid field, repair a damaged satellite, and return safely. Points are awarded for speed, efficiency, and creativity. Remember, the galaxy values not just knowledge, but the ability to adapt." He gestured to a large holographic display. The asteroid field shimmered into view, vast and chaotic. Rocks spun unpredictably, while fragments of old satellites floated in unstable orbits. Ryan studied it carefully, noticing gaps and patterns that most cadets overlooked. Mira leaned close, smirking. "Don't get in the way," she whispered. "You might make things worse." Ryan did not respond. Instead, he focused on analyzing the simulation. He realized that most cadets approached it with precision and rules, following the instructions exactly. That method worked for them, but it also left little room for adaptability. Ryan, trained on Earth, thought differently. He considered improvisation, using available resources in creative ways and taking calculated risks. When the challenge began, each team's spacecraft launched into the simulated asteroid field. Ryan gripped the controls, his eyes scanning rapidly. Debris drifted dangerously close and several cadets panicked. Mira barked orders, her voice sharp and confident, directing the team with practiced skill. "Ryan, take the left flank," she commanded, assuming he would struggle. Ryan nodded and adjusted his thrusters, guiding the ship through a narrow corridor of spinning rocks. Using a quick sequence of microbursts, he avoided collisions and created a clear path for the rest of the team. Mira's eyes widened slightly. She had expected hesitation, but instead, he moved with calm precision. Then came the first unexpected problem. One of the virtual satellites spun out of control, threatening to collide with the team's ship. The other cadets froze, unsure of what to do. Ryan remembered an old Earth technique for stabilizing spinning objects, using counterthrust and minimal adjustments to balance momentum. "Use a reverse burst at 20 degrees, Ryan shouted. "Align with the center axis and apply gradual pressure." Mira hesitated for a fraction of a second, then nodded, trusting his directions. The team followed Ryan's guidance, and the satellite stabilized. Gasps of surprise echoed in the chamber. Other teams were still struggling with similar obstacles, while Ryan's team moved steadily forward. As they approached the repair point, a new complication arose. A debris cloud had shifted unexpectedly, blocking access to the satellite's docking port. The control panel's interface was designed for advanced alien technology, complex sequences that Rian had never seen before. He frowned, scanning the interface. Then he remembered an old Earth principle: adapt and simplify. Using the basic components of the interface, he created a makeshift connection protocol, bypassing several unnecessary steps. The satellite's systems blinked green, repaired and ready. Mira watched in disbelief. "How did you do that?" she asked quietly, her pride battling her curiosity. Ryan shrugged. "Sometimes, simple solutions work best." He did not gloat. He simply focused on navigating the remaining obstacles. The final stage of the challenge was a narrow passage through a field of high-speed asteroids. Most cadets struggled, their ships spinning or colliding with debris. Ryan's mind raced. He calculated trajectories, anticipating the movement of each rock. Using minimal fuel and smooth adjustments, he guided the ship safely through, with the rest of the team following in perfect formation. When they crossed the finish line, the chamber erupted in applause and cheers. Instructor Thalin's eyes glimmered with approval. "Remarkable work, Team Alpha," he said. "You have demonstrated not just skill, but creativity, adaptability, and leadership. Cadets, take note. Earth-born ingenuity is alive and well." Mira sat back, silent, her mind struggling to process what had just happened. She had expected Rian to falter, to confirm her assumptions about Earth. Instead, he had excelled, proving that his background did not define his ability. After the debriefing, cadets mingled and discussed the results. Many congratulated Ryan, curious about the techniques he had used. Mira approached him quietly, her expression unreadable. "You did well," she admitted, a hint of grudging respect in her voice. "I didn't expect that from someone from Earth." Ryan nodded politely. "Thank you. I only followed the methods I learned back home. Sometimes thinking differently makes the difference." Mira's golden eyes studied him. "You really are different. I suppose Earth has its own strengths." "Yes," Ryan replied with a small smile, "and every planet has something unique. That's why working together matters." As the day ended, Ryan returned to his quarters, reflecting on the events. The challenge had been more than a test of skill. It had been a test of perception, of prejudice, and of courage. He realized that the galaxy often underestimated humans, but that underestimation could become an advantage. When others assumed he would fail, he had the element of surprise. That night, he reviewed the recordings of the challenge, noting the moves that had worked and the mistakes that could be improved. Earth had taught him one important lesson: preparation and creativity could overcome even the most advanced obstacles. Meanwhile, Mira sat in her quarters, replaying the events in her mind. She could not deny that Ryan had impressed the instructors and cadets alike. She felt a small sting of humility, realizing she had judged him too quickly. A thought lingered. Perhaps Earth-born humans were not so simple after all. The next morning, the Academy buzzed with anticipation for the team ranking announcement. Cadets gathered in the main hall where Thalin stood at the center, holoscreens displaying each team's performance. "Team Alpha," he announced, "has achieved the highest score in the Space Survival Challenge. Your strategy, problem-solving, and teamwork have set a new standard for cadets across the Academy." The hall erupted in cheers. Mira's eyes met Ryan's, and she gave a faint nod, a silent acknowledgement of his skill and determination. Ryan felt a quiet satisfaction, not pride, but the knowledge that he had proved that Earth's ingenuity could shine on the galactic stage. As cadets left the hall, Ryan and Mira walked side by side, preparing for the next phase of training. The challenge had been won, but new trials awaited. This was only the beginning of their journey together, and the bond between them, tentative and uneasy, was beginning to form. For Ryan, the day had reinforced a simple truth. No matter where one came from, courage, intelligence, and creativity could overcome prejudice and doubt. And for Mira, the lesson was equally clear. Judging someone by their background could mean underestimating their true potential. The stars outside the academy windows glimmered, reminding all cadets that the galaxy was vast and full of unknown challenges. And in that vastness, humans like Ryan were beginning to make their mark. The morning sun spilled gold across the interstellar academy, casting long shadows between its gleaming towers. Cadets filled the training halls, their conversations a mixture of excitement and nerves. Today was the day for the strategy briefing, a session designed to test not just skill, but mental agility, teamwork, and quick thinking under pressure. Ryan entered the hall with a calm determination. After yesterday's success in the Space Survival Challenge, he had earned respect from many cadets, yet some still doubted him. Mira, for one, had maintained her careful distance, her pride still intact, but with a flicker of curiosity in her golden eyes. The briefing room was vast, circular, with holographic displays suspended in midair. Instructor Thalen appeared at the center, his three eyes reflecting the swirling lights of the simulations. "Cadets," he began, his voice calm but commanding, "today you will participate in a real-time strategic simulation. Each team will encounter unpredictable events. Success will require intelligence, adaptation, and trust. Remember, assumptions can be dangerous." Mira's gaze snapped to Ryan, a faint smirk on her face. "I hope Earth hasn't taught you to fumble under pressure," she whispered as they walked to their assigned positions. Ryan didn't reply. He only gave a polite nod and turned his focus to the glowing display before him. The simulation began. The holographic battlefield expanded across the room, fleets of ships, asteroid belts, and rogue drones that could appear at any moment. Teams had to coordinate the defense and navigation of a convoy while collecting critical energy cores. Almost immediately, a complication appeared. One of their virtual ships became trapped in a dense asteroid cluster. Mira's instinct was to panic, but she quickly tried to calculate the best maneuver. "Ryan," she said sharply, "what do you suggest? You're from Earth. Maybe your planet has some primitive trick?" Ryan's lips curved into a small, knowing smile. "Sometimes the simplest solution works best. Let's try redirecting the smaller drones to clear a path, then use synchronized thrusts to free the ship." Mira frowned, clearly skeptical. "That sounds risky." Ryan nodded calmly. "All strategy has risk. The key is calculation." He issued quick commands to the team, combining Earth-style improvisation with precise coordination. The trapped ship slid free, avoiding collision. Several cadets glanced at him with surprise, their murmurs acknowledging his cleverness. Mira's smirk faltered, replaced by a flash of genuine curiosity. The next stage of the simulation brought an even greater challenge. A malfunctioning defense grid threatened to destroy part of the convoy. Alien cadets froze, debating endlessly over protocol and procedure. Ryan studied the interface. To them, it was an advanced system requiring expert knowledge, but he noticed a familiar pattern, similar to systems he had studied from old Earth satellites. "I can override the system," he said quietly. "Give me control." Mira's voice sharpened. "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" "I've done something similar before," Ryan replied confidently. For a moment, Mira hesitated. Then she nodded, her pride swallowing her doubt. Ryan activated the interface and began rerouting energy flows, using unconventional methods. The system blinked, flickered, then aligned perfectly. The defense grid stabilized, protecting the convoy. The hall erupted with impressed murmurs. Even Mira's eyes widened slightly. She had underestimated him, not because he was incapable, but because he came from Earth. But she wasn't ready to admit it yet. Later, During a brief pause in the simulation, Mira leaned closer, her tone sharp but quieter this time. "Tell me, Earth Boy, how is it possible that you understand these systems so quickly? Your planet doesn't even have space fleets like ours." Ryan hesitated for a moment, then decided it was time to reveal a part of Earth's hidden knowledge. "Earth has developed some technologies in secret. We've studied energy manipulation, satellite repair, and adaptive navigation in ways most worlds don't expect. Many think Earth is primitive, but we focus on practical ingenuity and problem-solving. Sometimes that is more valuable than sheer power." Mira blinked, her pride warring with disbelief. "Secret technology? On Earth?" "Yes," Ryan said simply. "We've always had to make do with less. So we learned to think differently. Resourcefulness becomes strength when others underestimate you." A quiet hush fell over the nearby cadets. Many had dismissed Ryan as an underdog, but now it was clear. Earth had hidden depth, and this human possessed knowledge they had never anticipated. Mira's face flushed with a mix of embarrassment and astonishment. She realized she had mocked him too soon, judging not just him, but his entire home planet. Her golden eyes met Ryan's. For the first time, she saw not a simple Earth cadet, but someone with skill, courage, and intelligence. The simulation resumed, but the dynamics had changed. Mira began to observe Ryan more carefully, listening to his advice and following his unconventional strategies. Together, they guided their team through unexpected asteroid shifts, rogue drones, and sudden energy surges. Ryan's calm thinking and unique solutions kept the team ahead, earning praise from the instructors. By the end of the exercise, the team had completed the simulation with the highest score yet recorded. Instructor Thalen's 3 eyes gleamed with approval. "Team Alpha," he announced, "has demonstrated extraordinary skill, adaptability, and problem-solving. Special recognition goes to Commander Ryan, whose innovative methods have set a new benchmark for all cadets. Let this be a reminder. Intelligence comes in many forms, and underestimating a world or a person can lead to surprises." The cadets erupted in applause, their voices echoing through the hall. Mira stood quietly, still processing the events. She felt a strange mix of humility, respect, and curiosity. Ryan's revelation had shifted her perspective. After the briefing, as cadets filed out, Mira approached him cautiously. "I owe you an apology," she said, her voice low. "I judged you unfairly, and I see now that Earth has strengths I didn't expect. Your methods, your thinking, it's impressive." Ryan inclined his head, accepting the apology gracefully. "Thank you. It's not about proving others wrong. It's about showing what we can do when we use our minds and work together." Mira nodded, though a faint spark of pride still lingered in her expression. She realized that respect had to be earned, not assumed, and that Ryan had earned hers. The revelation of Earth's hidden abilities spread quickly among the cadets. Whispers of admiration replaced earlier doubts, and Ryan noticed more of his peers approaching him for advice, curious to learn from Earth's ingenuity. For the first time, he felt that Earth's people were not simply tolerated. They were beginning to be recognized for their unique contributions. As the day drew to a close, Ryan returned to his quarters, reflecting on what had happened. He realized that prejudice is often born from ignorance, and that showing competence, courage, and creativity could change minds. Earth's reputation had been underestimated, and he had the opportunity to prove that humans were capable of great achievements. Meanwhile, Mira walked along the Academy's observation deck, overlooking the planet's rocky surface below. She could not stop thinking about Ryan and his revelation. Her earlier mockery felt foolish now. She had assumed that wealth, reputation, and advanced technology were the only measures of skill. Ryan had shown her that intelligence and ingenuity mattered just as much, if not more. The evening air was cool, filled with the soft hum of Academy lights and distant spacecraft engines. Mira whispered to herself, almost as a promise, "I will not make that mistake again. Humans, perhaps they deserve more respect than I thought." That night, Ryan gazed out at the stars from his window. Earth, a small blue dot in the vast galaxy, had given him everything he needed: curiosity, resilience, and a mind willing to think differently. He felt a quiet pride, not for himself alone, but for his planet. The events of the day had changed the Academy, at least in small ways. Cadets who had doubted him now observed him with new interest. Mira, once a source of tension and judgment, now considered him an equal and perhaps even a source of insight. The journey ahead promised more challenges, but Ryan was ready. He knew that the next steps, missions, trials, and perhaps interstellar dangers would test more than just skill. They would test courage, teamwork, and the human spirit itself. And Ryan was determined to show that Earth, often dismissed, could shine brightly among the stars. For Mira, the lesson was clear. Pride could blind even the most capable, and assumptions could be shattered by unexpected talent. She had learned, perhaps reluctantly, that Earth and its people were not to be underestimated. As the Academy settled into quiet night, Ryan and Mira prepared for the next day, aware that the galaxy had challenges far greater than simulations, but confident that humans, when underestimated, could reveal their true strength. The Interstellar Academy's halls were alive with energy the next morning. Cadets hustled to their assignments, discussing strategies and reviewing mission protocols. Today was not a simulation. Today, Ryan and Mira would face a real-life mission, a rescue operation in a dangerous nebula where a research ship had sent out an emergency distress signal. Ryan's shuttle hummed as he approached the briefing room. He felt a mix of excitement and tension. Yesterday's revelation about Earth had shifted Mira's attitude, but trust was still fragile. They would need to work together if the mission was to succeed. Instructor Thalen greeted them as they entered. "Cadets, this mission requires careful coordination. The nebula is unstable with unpredictable energy fields and debris. You must navigate safely, reach the research ship, and ensure the crew's survival. Rely on your training and each other." Mira's eyes met Ryan's. "No pressure, right?" she said, her tone lighter than usual. There was a hint of camaraderie now, though she still struggled with pride. Ryan nodded calmly. "We'll work together. That's the only way to succeed." The shuttle doors closed, and their small team of cadets prepared for launch. The nebula loomed ahead, a swirling mass of glowing clouds and jagged debris. Sensors flickered as the shuttle moved closer. The team's nerves were tight, but Ryan remained composed, observing patterns in the nebula's shifting energy fields. "Ryan," Mira said, "your planet's methods. Any suggestions for navigating this safely?" Ryan pointed to a cluster of energy readings on the screen. "We need to take a zigzag pattern, adjusting to the field fluctuations. Earthships often use adaptive maneuvers like this in asteroid belts. It's simple but effective." Mira frowned, studying his plan. "Simple? You mean risky?" "Calculated risk," Ryan replied. "If we move too cautiously, the ship might drift into a debris field. If we overcorrect, we'll lose stability. Balance is key." Mira nodded slowly, trusting his judgment for the first time. The shuttle glided into the nebula, following Ryan's adaptive pattern. Energy flares lit the cabin, and the ship rocked under the nebula's currents. Cadets clutched their seats. But Ryan's calm guidance kept everyone focused. Suddenly, a massive debris cloud appeared ahead, blocking the path. Sensors indicated high-speed fragments that could tear through the shuttle's hull. Mira reacted instinctively, but Ryan shouted a different solution. "Use the lateral thrusters in short bursts. We'll weave through the gaps and avoid the larger fragments." Mira hesitated only a moment, then executed his instructions. The shuttle twisted and turned gracefully, slipping through the debris. The team cheered quietly, amazed at the humans' intuition. Once past the debris, the shuttle approached the distressed research vessel. Its hull was damaged, and power fluctuations made docking risky. Ryan quickly assessed the situation. "We need to stabilize their systems first. I can use a manual override technique to restore basic power." Mira raised an eyebrow. "You're serious? You think a human method will work?" Ryan's eyes were calm. "It's worked before. Trust me." He maneuvered to the control panel and began rerouting energy, applying Earth-style improvisation to adapt alien systems. Lights flickered, systems hummed, and slowly, the research ship stabilized. The team breathed in relief as communication lines opened. "Excellent work," Mira said quietly. For the first time, her tone carried genuine respect. "Earth methods. They're not so primitive after all." The next challenge was transferring the crew safely onto their shuttle. Space outside the nebula was unstable, with shifting energy currents that could throw them into the void. Ryan suggested a formation using tethered pods and synchronized maneuvers. The team followed, moving carefully but efficiently. One by one, the crew members were brought aboard. During the final extraction, a sudden energy surge threatened to push the shuttle off course. Mira froze momentarily, unsure how to respond. Ryan reacted quickly. "Adjust the shields to redirect the surge. Use the gravity anchors to stabilize the ship." Mira's hands moved on the controls, following his commands. The shuttle rocked violently but held its course. Cadets gasped and cheered as they emerged safely from the nebula's edge. Back at the academy, Instructor Thalen met them. "Cadets, today you demonstrated something remarkable. Not only did you complete the mission, but you combined skills from different worlds in perfect harmony. Teamwork, innovation, and trust made the difference." Mira looked at Ryan, her golden eyes reflecting a mixture of admiration and humility. "I underestimated you," she said softly. "And Earth. I see now that strength isn't only about technology or wealth, it's about thinking, courage, and determination." Ryan smiled faintly. "I didn't do this alone. We worked together. That's what matters." Later, in the common quarters, cadets talked excitedly about the mission. Many were curious about Earth's methods, asking Ryan to explain his techniques. He patiently shared ideas, emphasizing creativity and adaptability. Mira watched, listening quietly, a newfound respect in her gaze. The mission had done more than rescue a ship. It had changed perceptions. Humans, once underestimated, were proving that their ingenuity and courage could compete with the best in the galaxy. Mira realized that judging someone based on origin or appearance could blind one to their true potential. As night fell over the academy, Ryan stood at the observation deck, looking at the nebula they had just navigated. Stars sparkled beyond, each one a reminder of the galaxy's vastness and endless possibilities. He thought of Earth, a small blue dot in the cosmos, and felt a deep sense of pride. Not arrogance, but pride in the resilience and ingenuity that had brought him here. Mira approached silently. "You handled that perfectly," she said, her voice quieter than before. I understand now why Earth can be underestimated." Ryan turned to her. "It's not about being underestimated. It's about using what you have, thinking clearly, and not giving up. Every world has its strengths. Today we combined them and succeeded." Mira nodded. "Maybe we make a good team after all." "Maybe we do," Ryan replied, smiling. In the days that followed, Ryan and Mira trained together more closely. Their collaboration grew stronger, each learning from the other. Mira began to appreciate Earth's methods, while Ryan adapted to alien technology and perspectives. The bond between them, once strained by judgment and pride, began to solidify into mutual respect and understanding. One afternoon, while practicing maneuvers in zero gravity, Mira accidentally praised Ryan's idea out loud in front of other cadets. A few of them stared in surprise. Mira rarely admitted when someone else had better insight. Ryan only smiled, understanding that respect had been earned, not given. The mission and the teamwork exercises had done more than build skills. They had taught lessons about humility, trust, and collaboration. Mira realized that strength alone was not enough. Understanding and adaptability mattered just as much. Ryan understood that patience and calm thinking could transform perception and forge alliances. By the end of Part 4, Ryan and Mira had not only completed a dangerous mission successfully, but had proven that humans, when underestimated, could rise to greatness. Their combined skills, blending Earth ingenuity with alien technology, had turned doubt into admiration. The Interstellar Academy now watched them differently. Cadets, who had whispered about Earth, now looked at Ryan with curiosity and respect. Mira, once a source of mockery, had become an ally, her pride tempered by experience. Ryan knew the journey ahead would bring even greater challenges. Nebula missions, interstellar diplomacy, and perhaps encounters with unknown civilizations awaited them. But he was ready. Earth had prepared him for this moment. And together with Mira, he was confident that no challenge was insurmountable. As the Academy lights dimmed and the stars shone brightly overhead, Ryan and Mira stood side by side, looking toward the horizon. They were no longer just individuals from different worlds. They were a team, united by respect, courage, and shared purpose. For Ryan, this mission had confirmed a truth he had always believed. Humans could rise above prejudice, overcome doubt, and prove their worth in a galaxy that had once underestimated them. And for Mira, the lesson was equally profound. Judgment must be earned through understanding, not assumed from background alone. The stars above promised adventures yet to come, and both of them were ready to meet them together. The Interstellar Academy's main hall buzzed with excitement. Today was the awards and recognition ceremony, an event where cadets were honored for exceptional skill, courage, and achievement. The hall gleamed under soft lighting, the walls lined with hollow panels displaying the day's accomplishments. Ryan walked in quietly, his Earth uniform simple but neat. He felt a mix of pride and humility. The past days had been challenging. Simulations, the survival challenge, and the real mission in the nebula. He had proven himself, but today would show if the Academy as a whole truly recognized his efforts. Mira stood nearby, her posture formal. Yet there was a softness in her golden eyes that had not been there before. She had spent the past days reflecting on her own judgments and Ryan's abilities. She had mocked him once, but now she felt admiration and a deep respect for his skills and courage. Instructor Thalen stepped forward. "Cadets," he said, his voice steady and commanding, "the past days have tested your abilities, your courage, and your teamwork. Some of you have stood out in remarkable ways. Today we celebrate those who have demonstrated not only skill, but ingenuity, leadership, and the spirit of true cadets of the galaxy." The hollow panels flickered to life, showing clips from recent missions and exercises. The cadets watched intently, seeing the highlights of the challenges they had all faced. And then, Instructor Thalen's three eyes turned to Ryan. "Commander Ryan of Earth," Thalen announced, "your actions in the Space Survival Challenge and the Nebula Rescue Mission have been extraordinary. You demonstrated creativity, resourcefulness, and courage that surpassed expectations. You have shown that even a planet underestimated by many can contribute wisdom and strength to the galaxy. For this, you are awarded the Cadet Distinction Medal for Ingenuity and Bravery." The hall erupted in applause. Cadets who had once whispered doubts now looked at Ryan with admiration. Mira's eyes shone with pride, though she remained composed. She knew this recognition was well earned. Ryan stepped forward and received the medal. He bowed respectfully to Thalen and then to the assembly. Thank you, he said simply. I am proud to represent Earth. And I am grateful for the teamwork that made this possible. Ingenuity, courage, and collaboration can achieve great results when we respect one another. Mira approached him, her expression serious but warm. She stepped before the cadets and addressed the hall. I was wrong to judge Commander Ryan or his planet. Today he has shown us that skill and courage are not determined by wealth or status, but by determination, creativity, and heart. Earth has earned its place among us. The cadets erupted into cheers. Many nodded and whispered in agreement, acknowledging Ryan's accomplishments. Mira's words carried weight. She was one of the most respected cadets in the academy, and her public acknowledgement removed any lingering doubts about Earth's capabilities. Ryan felt a quiet satisfaction. This recognition was not just for himself. It was for Earth, for all humans, and for the spirit of perseverance that had carried him through every challenge. The galaxy had often underestimated humans, but today, that perception had changed. After the ceremony, cadets gathered in smaller groups, discussing the events of the past week. Many approached Ryan, asking about his techniques, his thoughts on strategy, and even how Earth trained its cadets. Ryan spoke patiently, sharing insights without arrogance, emphasizing creativity, teamwork, and calm thinking. Mira listened silently, proud to see the respect Ryan had earned. She approached him privately, her golden eyes meeting his. "You've proven more than skill," she said. "You've shown courage, intelligence, and humility. I am glad to have worked alongside you." Ryan smiled. "Thank you. Mira, I've learned much from you as well. Every world brings something unique. When we combine those strengths, we achieve more than any one planet could alone." The bond between them had grown stronger. What had begun as mockery and doubt had transformed into respect and partnership. Mira realized that judging someone by their background alone was short-sighted. True strength was revealed through actions, character, and the willingness to rise above prejudice. That evening, the Academy hosted a small reception. Cadets mingled, discussing future missions, new training exercises, and the adventures that awaited them in the galaxy. Ryan observed quietly, reflecting on the journey so far. From the first moment he had arrived, underestimated and doubted, he had faced every challenge with focus and determination. Earth, small and overlooked, had contributed ingenuity and courage to every mission. Mira approached him again. "Tomorrow, we start advanced joint exercises," she said. "I expect we will face more challenges, but I am glad to have you on my team." Ryan nodded. "I look forward to it. Together we can learn and achieve more than we could alone." As they spoke, cadets nearby watched with quiet admiration. The respect Ryan had earned extended beyond the mission teams. Other cadets were beginning to reconsider their assumptions about Earth and its people. Whispers of admiration and curiosity spread like wildfire throughout the academy. Later, Ryan found a quiet corner in the observation deck, gazing at the stars. The galaxy stretched endlessly before him, filled with unknown worlds, challenges, and possibilities. Earth was just one small planet, but its people had a spirit that could rise to meet any challenge. He felt pride, not arrogance, in the achievements of his homeworld and in his ability to represent humans in the galaxy. Mira joined him silently. She watched the stars, thoughtful. "You know," she said quietly, "I used to think strength was only about advanced tech, wealth, or power, but now I see it's also about creativity, courage, and determination. Your planet, and you, have shown me that." Ryan smiled softly. "Thank you. That means a lot. The galaxy has much to teach us, and we have much to contribute in return." Mira nodded, a genuine smile appearing for the first time, without any trace of pride or mockery. "Then let's see what we can achieve together." In the following days, Ryan and Mira trained together, each learning from the other's world. Ryan taught Earth-inspired strategies for problem-solving, improvisation, and teamwork. Mira shared advanced alien technologies, navigation techniques, and insights from her prestigious training. The collaboration between the two became a model for other cadets. Their partnership demonstrated an important truth: respect, collaboration, and understanding could unite even the most diverse minds and talents. Humans, once underestimated, were now recognized for their ingenuity, courage, and ability to adapt. By the end of the week, the Academy had undergone a subtle but significant change. Cadets from other worlds treated Earthborn students with renewed interest and respect. Instructor Thalen noted the transformation. Commander Ryan has not only demonstrated skill, but has inspired others to look beyond assumptions. That is a true mark of leadership and ingenuity. Mira, reflecting on her journey from skepticism to respect, realized how much she had learned. Judgment based on origin or appearance was shallow. Real strength came from action, intelligence, and the courage to face challenges head-on. As the day ended, Ryan and Mira stood on the observation deck once more, looking out at the galaxy. Stars twinkled endlessly, a reminder of the adventures still waiting. Ryan thought of Earth, his home, small yet filled with potential. Mira, standing beside him, silently acknowledged that humans had earned their place among the stars, not by boasting, but by showing what they could do. "Tomorrow," Mira said softly, "we face new challenges. But I feel ready. With you on my team, I think we can handle anything." Ryan nodded, a quiet confidence in his eyes. "Earth has prepared me for this, and together we can show that even those underestimated can rise to greatness." The stars stretched out before them, vast and full of possibility. And in that infinite expanse, humans like Ryan had begun to shine, proving that courage, intelligence, and determination could earn respect, even in a galaxy that had once doubted them. The journey was far from over, but Ryan's place, and Earth's place, was no longer in question. Recognition had been earned, respect had been gained, and the future held endless opportunities for discovery, adventure, and triumph. The story of Ryan and Earth at the Interstellar Academy became an example for cadets across the galaxy. Never underestimate the underestimated. Strength comes in many forms, and even a small world can make a big difference.